Oh,
So I had to interview Bimmy, and you know, Prince is my guy, but I had to go pull the paperwork.
And so what's the verdict?
Well, Bimmy's name is not in the paperwork. Supreme seems to think that he's the only one it could have been. So Bimmy's saying, you know, that he got arrested with Supreme. So I don't know. You know, my whole thing is a paperwork game. If I ain't got it on you, I ain't gonna really say too much about it.
My personal opinion, and I feel like I kind of speak on behalf of a lot of the people out there, I feel like
the tension between Wack 100 and Bricc Baby didn't just pop up overnight. It had been brewing quietly until it finally boiled over in public, and when it did, it got real fast. Wack has always been known for loud talk, reckless energy, and inserting himself into situations that don't need him. That style keeps his name buzzing, but it also creates enemies everywhere he goes. Bricc Baby comes from a different lane, one where words aren't just entertainment, they're taken seriously. When those two worlds collided, the result was bound to be explosive. At first, it was just tension in the air. Subtle shots, side comments, little jabs that people brushed off as normal industry noise. But in street culture, small disrespect never stays small. It stacks. Each comment adds weight. Each public moment adds pressure. Once Wack started talking reckless again, the tone changed. Bricc Baby didn't see it as content. He saw it as disrespect. That's a dangerous misunderstanding in hip-hop, because not everyone treats beef like a podcast segment.
Sue Surf today.
preemptive snitch stuff.
I defended Sue Surf today. I'm like, bro, that paperwork you just put up only says he's admitting to what he did, what his involvement was.
Hello?
What up?
Hello?
Yo, man. I heard you were doing a show today. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm sitting right here with your man Wack.
This is the dumbest dude in.
The street started paying attention when the back and forth went from slick talk to direct shots. Voices got louder, language got sharper. The vibe shifted from debate to confrontation. Wack's history of talking spicy without backing down made people wonder if he was finally pushing the wrong button. Bricc Baby's reputation added another layer. He isn't known for letting things slide quietly, especially when his name or affiliations are questioned. What made this situation feel different was how fast it escalated. There was no cooling off period, no attempt to de-escalate. Instead, both sides doubled down. That's when people started saying this wasn't just internet beef anymore. Once street names, locations, and loyalty get mentioned, things move out of entertainment territory. The streets recognize that shift instantly.
Look out for us, man. You got another 24 hours, man.
Hey, can I ask you a question? You said I got a murder conspiracy because Box Car got shot up. Now, a lot of you little niggas wasn't around back in them days. You do know Box Car got shot up in 05, right?
That's on the case.
You do know Box Car got shot up in 05. He didn't start beefing with Dill Dog till 08, 09, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, okay, dummy. But had your wife tell you the homie from Fruitown Paru was sticking in her? That's how I know you got caught with it.
The energy around this clash felt heavy. Not funny, not performative, just tense. Every new clip felt like it raised the stakes. The culture knows the difference between clout beef and real beef, and this started leaning toward the latter. When egos collide and nobody wants to blink, the situation becomes unpredictable. And unpredictability is what makes things dangerous. This wasn't about who had the better insult or the louder voice. It was about pride, respect, and how far someone is willing to go once they feel crossed. From the outside, it might have looked like another hip-hop argument. To the streets, it looked like a line was being tested and nobody was backing off.
Whatever case.
Did your wife tell you the homie from Fruitown Paru was sticking in her? That's why I knew you got caught with it, K? I'm just saying. You said, how did Wack know I went to jail for it?
Well, let's hear him out a little bit.
That's what he said, right?
Wait, what you said, Bricc?
Hey, I for sure know about it.
Okay, I'm glad you know about it. So that's how I know you was in jail for a K.
As the beef picked up speed, the conversation shifted from words to consequences, and that's when people really locked in. Wack 100 has built a reputation around speaking without filters, often daring people to react. That approach works in media spaces, but it doesn't translate cleanly to street environments. The streets don't reward loudness, they reward control. Bricc Baby operates with that understanding. which is why his response carried a different weight. The back and forth wasn't just about ego anymore. It became about boundaries. How far can someone talk before it's considered crossing the line? In street culture, that line is thin and personal. Once crossed, respect demands a response. Bricc Baby's stance suggested he felt that line had already been passed. His tone wasn't playful, it was firm. That firmness made people take the situation seriously.
As soon as before you got to the substation, the homie was dicking your bitch down. I'm glad you admit it.
All right, let's listen.
We don't deal with busters now, so we don't care about that. We don't Mark that live off their daddy rep. We don't even.
You think? Hey, the homie ain't no Mark. If he was a Mark, he couldn't have your bra. The homie got way more money than you. He way more gangster than you, and he was beating your bra. Up. I'm glad you're now your content. Yeah.
The street started analyzing every move. Who was speaking directly? Who was implying things? Who was escalating and who was fueling the fire? Wack's pattern of reckless speech came under scrutiny. People questioned whether he truly understood the environment he was stepping into, or if he was relying too much on the idea that everything is just talk. That assumption can be dangerous. What raised alarms was how the language started shifting. When conversations move from opinions to threats, even implied ones, the risk level jumps. The culture has seen too many situations where words turned into actions. That history makes people cautious. Once that danger signal appears, everyone watches closely.
Now let me ask you a question. What happened to the shooting in 2022? What happened to the shooting in 2022? What happened to the shooting in 2022? And what happened to your threats to unalive your girl?
Anytime you get called a snitch.
What happened to the shooting in 2022?
Do that. Hey, do that and clear your.
What happened to I can't, bro, show me where I was charged. But let's talk about your real charges.
Go enjoy the Adam and Wack.
No. Let's talk about the shooting in 2022. What?
Bricc Baby's response showed he wasn't interested in online theatrics. He spoke like someone drawing a boundary, not chasing attention. That difference in intent made the clash feel uneven. One side was talking loud, the other was talking serious. In street logic, serious always trumps loud. As clips circulated, fans stopped laughing and started worrying. Comments reflected concern instead of entertainment. That's always the telltale sign that something crossed a line. When the audience stops enjoying the drama, it means the situation feels real. This beef wasn't just about two names clashing. It was about how different worlds collide inside hip-hop. Media personalities often forget that not everyone plays by the same rules. Once that reality sets in, things can spiral fast. And that's exactly why people started saying this situation wasn't just messy, it was dangerous.
Clarify something, because this is his wife.
I'm not
This is
doing
Brick's wife. I would love to hear
Bricc
this, yes.
already admitted. Hey, Adam, don't do that.
Let's listen to her. Let's listen to her.
All right, she say something out of line, I'm gonna disrespect
Bring up
her.
some stuff when I was 18 years old. I am 35 now.
We ain't talking about the homie from 20s. We not talking about the homie from 20s.
I want to hear.
You really want to do this?
Don't talk the whole time. What are you saying?
All right.
Who have I messed with? I haven't messed with nobody.
That's the homie from 20s I was fucking you at 18. We talking about the other homie.
As tension continued building, the culture began breaking down the deeper layers behind the conflict. This wasn't just Wack versus Bricc, it was a clash between two approaches to power. Wack represents loud influence, using platforms and controversy to dominate conversations. Bricc Baby represents grounded presence, where respect is enforced through consistency and reputation, not volume. Those approaches don't mix well. The streets debated whether Wack was underestimating the seriousness of the situation. Some felt he was too comfortable hiding behind cameras and microphones. Others believed he thrives on chaos and doesn't care who gets pulled into it. Either way, the consensus was clear. He was playing a risky game. Bricc Baby's involvement shifted the narrative. Once he spoke, people stopped treating the situation like entertainment. His tone suggested he wasn't interested in dragging things out publicly. That restraint actually made his stance stronger. In street culture, calm confidence speaks louder than wild energy. The history of hip-hop beef added weight to the moment. Too many situations started with words and ended badly. That memory lives in the culture. It's why people reacted with concern instead of excitement. The streets don't want another preventable situation turning tragic. This clash also highlighted how social media accelerates conflict. Every post adds pressure. Every comment pushes people further into corners. There's no room to cool off when the internet demands constant reaction. That pressure can push people to make choices they wouldn't make offline. The real danger wasn't in what had already been said, but in what could happen next if neither side backed down. Pride becomes a trap when egos are involved. Once someone feels disrespected publicly, walking away feels like losing. That's how situations spiral. The streets recognize the warning signs early, the shift in tone, the seriousness in language, the lack of humor. All of it pointed to a situation that needed to slow down before it crossed another line. But slowing down requires restraint, and restraint isn't always easy when cameras are rolling. By the time the situation fully unfolded, it was clear this beef had already crossed into risky territory, and the culture felt it. Wack 100 and Bricc Baby weren't just arguing, they were testing limits in a space where limits matter. The streets don't ignore warning signs, and this situation had plenty of them. What stood out most was how different the intentions felt. One side seemed comfortable turning conflict into content. The other treated it as a matter of respect. That mismatch made escalation more likely. When people aren't operating on the same code, misunderstandings become dangerous. The culture began calling for cooler heads, not because people wanted the beef to end quietly, but because history has shown where unchecked conflict leads. Hip-hop has lost too many voices to situations that could have stopped at words. That reality hangs over moments like this. This clash served as another reminder that street energy and internet energy don't mix cleanly. Platforms amplify everything, but they don't absorb consequences. The streets do. Once things turn real, there's no algorithm to blame. Whether this situation calms down or keeps escalating, it already sent a message. Not all beef is entertainment. Not all talk is harmless. And not everyone treats disrespect the same way. Those lessons matter, especially in a culture where visibility often gets mistaken for power. If you stayed locked in through this entire breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next story the culture can't stop talking about.